welcome to another episode of The Wave. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome back to The Wave. It's the weekly news and chat show from the world famous Bottom of the Stream podcast.
Season finale week.
It sure is.
Wow. Again.
Come back on this very feed on Thursday and we will be talking about our 25th and final movie this season, season 9 of the show.
What a ride this season's been.
And we'll complete the stream table. So this is the last chance for something to knock Blood and Gold off the top.
It is.
Of the chart.
What are we watching?
We're watching Crawl Space.
We are. Henry Thomas is
Yeah.
in this movie.
Most known as Elliot from E.T.
Yeah, I guess so.
And latterly a Mike Flanagan regular.
Yeah. I think he's had a season... I've completely forgotten the word for career. He's had a career rejuvenation thanks to Flanagan, hasn't he?
And, well, he's going to be an action... Well, he is an action star in this movie.
He is, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll talk about Crawl Space, which
will
is
on
a
Thursday.
pretty brand new movie this year, I think.
Last year. End of last year, I think it came out.
Yeah.
But until then, we've got a wave to record.
We have. How are you, Adam?
I'm all right, thank you. Yourself?
Good. I do want to get something out there straight away.
Okay.
So there's no real talk this week.
There's not.
But I just wanted to assure people, because they might have seen the news,
Right.
and be wondering if we're going into a legal battle.
Right.
Because I don't know if you're aware,
I'm not, I don't think.
but Jonathan Ross and Sky have got a new podcast launching.
Right.
A movie podcast. It's called Real Talk.
Have they stolen our idea?
So I'm sure that you've already put our best lawyers on this case.
I will now. That's disgusting.
So, yeah, we have not got Real Talk, but it's not related to that.
It isn't. It's just I completely forgot to send it out. So that's my bad.
But don't worry.
Who wants to listen to a podcast hosted by Jonathan Ross?
I know.
Thank you.
How blasé is it that?
Yeah, exactly.
What does he know about movies?
Exactly. Nothing. I'd like you to comment on my socks.
Okay.
Would you like to see my socks?
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to go down. Oh, are you coming up?
Coming up.
Oh, lovely. Beetlejuice socks.
How cool are they?
Yeah, they're very good.
I love them.
Yeah.
I got a collection. I've
Really?
got some Pennywise ones.
Oh, I see.
2 sets of Pennywise ones, one of each Pennywise.
Yeah.
And 2 Chucky ones.
Very good.
And some Beetlejuice ones.
I was going to say just 2 socks isn't a collection. You
No,
have to wear 2 socks
pairs
every
of
day.
socks.
Okay.
When you say socks, that's implied that it's a pair. Although I never pair my socks. So
Right.
Now when they're not new anymore, they'll be.
Oh, so
I'll have a Pennywise and a Beetlejuice or a Chucky.
So this is potentially the one and only time
they'll be together.
that they'll be together.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
There you go.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I never pair socks. I don't see the point.
Wow. Yeah, you got
To be fair, I don't wear them very often.
more important things to do in life.
If I'm in the house on my own, I very rarely will have socks on.
Yeah.
I'm only wearing them now because I have visitors.
Oh, yeah.
Visitor.
You don't have to wear them on my.
No, but I feel like it feels weird to not.
Similarly,
I've barefoot podcasted before.
I will chuck my socks off at home quite.
If I don't have to wear socks, I won't be wearing socks.
Some might say reckless abandon.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Just chuck them anywhere.
Yeah, they'll just
Somebody else will pick them
they'll
up.
just fly in front of. No, I'm not saying I don't pick them up, but that's again, you worry about that later.
Yeah,
maybe when you go up to bed or something.
It's usually the first thing I do when I get in from work is take my socks off.
Yeah.
I'm not a sock guy.
No. I mean, society just makes us wear socks, I guess. And plus, your shoes would be more uncomfortable because I'm not having you be one of those guys who wears shoes with no socks.
I wouldn't be. If I've got shoes on, I've got socks on.
Yeah.
But if I've not got shoes on, I've very rarely got socks on.
Where do you stand on slippers? Because it's been very cold recently because the weather has turned.
Yeah.
It's frosty.
Yeah.
But I would still like to go barefoot in my house.
Same.
That would be my preference.
I usually
really
do
go
go barefoot in my house. I have got a bit of a confession to make.
Okay.
I did recently purchase some Crocs.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
They're not real Crocs. They're fake Crocs. But I've mainly brought them for when I'm in VR.
Okay.
Because standing up in VR with no shoes or socks on hurts your feet after about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And these are like super comfy.
I love the fact you've got gaming Crocs.
VR shoes.
So I'm going to level with you. I also own a pair of fake Crocs, which I chiefly use to gad about in the garden in.
I brought them for playing VR in, but
Okay.
I must admit I have worn them around the house quite a lot because they are very comfortable. So I wasn't going to tell anybody this. This was going to be my little VR secret.
Oh, wow.
But now I've just announced it to the world.
That's fine. I'm here to
Come at me, bro.
Support you.
I would never be. I would never be seen
can't.
in public in them. I literally took them off when you got here tonight.
Yeah.
And then answered the door.
Is this public?
Yes, because it's somebody else. I would never let somebody else see me wearing them.
Well, I want you to know that I would not judge you if you have your Crocs on
but
when
also
I
you will never see me
come around in the future. Okay.
I feel like I might get some shit for that. I feel like we might both get some shit for that. But
I don't care.
I don't care either. Come at us.
Okay.
Right. Let's start this episode, shall we?
Sure.
Let's name chit chat out of the way.
Let's do that if we haven't already. So we'll start with the question of the week.
Okie dokie.
And we're going back to basics.
Okay.
And funnily enough, it's interesting that we've talked about socks because we haven't planned this.
No, we haven't. I don't even know what this question is.
No.
And I didn't tell you I was going to mention my socks.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
I was hoping you didn't notice them before we started recording them,
No,
and you didn't.
I didn't look down. So my question to you this week is simply, would you rather wear wet socks or wet underpants every day?
Oh, that's a good question. Every day?
Yeah.
So I've got to wear one of them every day?
Yeah.
Oh,
You've got to nail your wetness to the mast.
So I'm going to work in them.
Yes.
I'm going out and about.
So you can still take them off at home, but as you would normally wear pants or socks, you got to wear. They've got to start off sodden.
Like soaking wet.
Yes. Might be quite nice in the summer.
Yeah, it might. Are they going to dry during the day?
They might a little bit,
but not going to.
So you don't have to re-wet them.
I feel like damp would be much worse than soaking.
Yeah. It's not very nice when you're sitting in a wet swimming costume.
No.
Or
or when you it's not. Oh, this is a tough question. I think if I'm pushed, I would choose socks because I feel like wet underpants would be very uncomfortable, and people would notice that more. Is that weird?
You would get a wet area.
Yeah. It would soak through any outer garments.
Yes.
And onto chairs and things. Yeah. Whereas socks, you can kind of... Nobody would know if you were wearing wet socks.
People wouldn't know as much, but you would be uncomfortable.
I'd be very uncomfortable.
You might get trench foot.
Either way, I'm going to be uncomfortable in this situation.
Yes.
So it's the people not knowing that makes me more comfortable.
Sores and
I feel like that's better on
the chafing now. I don't know if
exactly.
I want the
chafing. I feel like having
between my
blisters
legs.
And sores on your feet is better than having them on your groin.
Plus, when you're sitting,
yeah,
you could, I suppose, in a lot of situations, you may be able to elevate your feet.
Oh, feet. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
I don't know how that'd help. They'd still be wet, but
it's got to be feet. Has it got to be feet? I think it's got to be socks.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to sit in wet pants.
I mean, some people don't wear pants as much, so that might be the best choice for them.
True.
I mean,
I can honestly say I don't think I've ever left the house without pants on. Don't think I've ever done. Obviously, if you've got when you're on holiday, you've got swimming shorts and things on.
Yeah.
Yes, but in normal everyday life, commando's not a life for me. I don't think.
Okay, I think I have. Yeah, like I can remember a couple of times where this is a really boring story, but leaping out of bed.
Yeah.
With some pajama shorts on because the postman's there or forgot to take the bin out. I've come back in upstairs, thrown some trousers on.
Oh, okay.
And then gone later on. Oh, not put pants on. I've still got them shorts on.
Have you ever gone to work without pants on?
Not out of the house. I will say I have worked at home without pants on.
That's fine. Socks. Yeah. I'm having wet socks.
Yeah, I think I'm taking socks as well.
It's got to be socks.
Yeah.
The chafing would be unbearable.
Yeah.
By the end of the day.
Because again, in the summer, I'm thinking I get a free hit to an extent in the summer because I'll go flip-flops.
Yeah, you're not going to wear socks as often.
No. Yeah, socks.
Socks. It's the correct answer.
Wet socks, please.
Oh. It's not a nice answer, but it's still the best answer.
Well, that's 10 minutes of sock chat. So
Welcome to season finale week, everybody. Shall we do some Netflix news, Nick?
Yeah, let's
give the people what they came here for.
And let's give ourselves a little pat on the back for something we were pretty reliably confident was coming to Netflix, and it has been confirmed this week that Netflix Games will launch on the 14th of December. The definitive edition of Grand Theft Auto. You'll be able to download those free of charge if you're a Netflix member using the Netflix Games interface.
What is the definitive edition of Grand Theft Auto?
It includes Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. They have all been updated for mobile play.
That's quite interesting, isn't it? If anything's going to make Netflix Games take off, it's that.
Yeah.
Is it not?
I think
San Andreas is widely regarded as the best Grand Theft Auto game as far as I know.
Now, obviously, these have been modified for mobile, but it is worth noting that in November 2021, essentially this game was released for PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series X and Nintendo Switch at a retail price of $59.99.
Wow. Okay.
It's quite the month for Grand Theft Auto, because Rockstar did say at some point in December we will be seeing a trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Don't be surprised if that happens on the same day.
December the 14th. It makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Reading between the lines there. Or at least the day after or something.
There are now more than 80 mobile games available.
Okay, wow.
Via Netflix. 2 years in to Netflix Games. Co-CEO Greg Peters last month said, "We have still ambitious plans with our games. We really want to grow our engagement by many multiples of where it is today over the next few years."
Why haven't Netflix released a device?
Well, they're still in beta testing, aren't they, of using your mobile to play.
I'm thinking
as a controller.
I've got an idea now in my head of something that looks like a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
But is purely for Netflix to consume films and games on.
Sure.
It's like a handheld device.
Yeah.
Why does that not exist?
I don't know.
Just feels like the next natural progression. I guess an iPad with a controller is the same thing, but it just feels like Netflix could make some money off a device if they wanted to.
Well, you may also be interested in knowing that no release date yet, but also in the works from Netflix Games, is a multiplayer action game based on Rebel Moon, which obviously arrives now later this month.
Yeah, it does. Cool.
But yeah, that's pretty. That Grand Theft Auto set, along with Football Manager Mobile.
I was just gonna say Football Manager's out as well. I saw that was on there the other day.
Yeah, on Netflix Games. They're two pretty big moves, aren't they?
If they want Netflix Games to succeed, then getting the big IPs is the way to go, I think. Because people will go in to download that and get other stuff while they're there.
They sure will.
I feel like it needs some advertising behind it.
I agree.
Push the fact that they're there now.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen Netflix Games advertised anywhere.
No.
Other than on the app itself. Funnily enough, when I opened the app on my phone the other day, the games page opened before the movies page did.
That's interesting.
Yeah, which has never happened
They've done
before.
An update, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. I might try them out. I really enjoyed San Andreas when
I might as well. Otherwise, it's been a reasonably quiet week for Netflix news.
Okay.
There is plenty of news, but not so much of it focusing on Netflix. And just to illustrate that, I guess, is the fact that this week Netflix have released a press release saying that season 2 of The Sandman has started filming again.
Okay. Because it stopped because of the strikes, I guess.
Correct.
And now they've started again.
It began filming back in June and is now back in front of the cameras after a 5-month interruption. To commemorate this, Commemorate doesn't feel like the right
No,
word.
I don't think it is.
Netflix has released the first behind-the-scenes image from season 2, showing Dream looking down on Desire. It's also the 35th anniversary of Sandman since its publication.
Oh, really?
So
what, the comics?
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah, November 1988.
Wow. Remember it well. What a year.
I never watched it.
I watched the first 2 episodes and couldn't get into it, but I understand why people enjoy it.
I kind of think I would. It's just never got to the top of my
put it to the top
my list. But I don't feel
nothing's compelling you to watch it.
Compelled to do that.
I get you.
Yeah.
I think you'd enjoy it. From what I saw,
I feel like I
think
probably
it's
would.
A you type of thing.
Yeah. It's just not happening.
Maybe
yet.
when season 2 comes out, you just binge them both.
Maybe.
Do it that way. Next.
I mean, we're all about the video game tie-ins
We are.
this week in the news, though, because we have seen the first look at a set of images from Amazon Prime's upcoming adaptation of Fallout.
Okay. Yep. Very popular games, Fallout.
It is, and this series will debut on Prime Video on April the 12th, 2024.
It's not that long away.
We have some official character descriptions of some of the key players.
Okay. Hit me.
Ella Purnell plays Lucy, an optimistic vault dweller with an all-American can-do spirit.
Okay.
Her peaceful and idealistic nature is tested when people harm her loved ones.
Nice.
Aaron Moten plays Maximus, a young soldier hiding his tragic past as he serves in the militaristic faction of the Brotherhood of Steel. He believes in the nobility of the Brotherhood's mission to bring law and order to the wasteland.
Mm.
Walton Goggins plays the Ghoul.
Walton Goggins is in it?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I love that guy.
The Ghoul survives the wasteland as a bounty hunter. He is pragmatic, ruthless, and hides a mysterious past. There are a few images of it. He's got no nose.
He's got no nose?
He's like an irradiated...
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a skeleton with skin on.
Yeah. It's a bit Skeletor from Masters of the Universe,
yes.
but pinker with a suntan. And Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh, he's in it as well.
He plays Overseer Hank. Hank is the overseer of Vault 33 and Lucy's father. He is eager to change the world for the better. The description of the series says, this takes place in a future post-apocalyptic Los Angeles. Citizens must live in underground bunkers to protect themselves from radiation, mutants, and bandits after a nuclear annihilation. The story begins in Vault 33, one such bunker that is a prominent setting in the video games. It has also been confirmed that this is a canonical story, but not linked to any previous video games.
So it's in the same universe. So
yes.
What happens in games has happened in movie and TV show.
The creative team behind this is the same team behind Westworld. This is their next big project, which includes Jonathan Nolan, brother of Christopher.
Right.
And he has directed the first 3 episodes of Fallout.
But you're not telling me much that's not getting me intrigued on this.
Okay.
I must admit.
Is that a game you've played or familiar with?
It's not. I've not. I think I have briefly played it, but I've never got into it. But it's not something I've ever been heavily into. But these pictures are cool. It looks nice. It's got a good write-up and it sounds a good cast. Nothing's making me think that sounds shit.
No.
So.
Well, it's not that long to wait.
No,
April, mid-April.
4 months? 5.
Yeah.
Sweet. We'll keep our eye on that and let you know if it's we get any more news on it.
Another project in development, in production for Amazon, it is a true crime documentary series from the makers of The Tinder Swindler.
Oh, I did watch that.
They have moved from Netflix to Amazon, and they are working on Dead in the Water.
Okay.
Which is another true story with about a British couple who went on holiday to Central America in 1978.
Right.
Unfortunately, they both faced a gruesome end at the hands of a vicious killer.
Oh, wow.
A killer who was never found, But now the documentary team behind Dead in the Water are revisiting the infamous cold case to see if they can catch the couple's murderer.
Wow, that's
The
really
press
good.
announcement said, "This is the story of a gap year gone wrong and a tale of two families on either side of the Atlantic, united by grief and bound by a common purpose. The pursuit of a killer, even when it seemed untenable, and decades after the heinous crimes were committed."
Nice. I wasn't getting into the true crime documentaries. That's more of a Netflix thing.
That's what we need more of.
Yeah.
But look, joking aside, it's a relatively cheap genre to make.
Yeah. And that's why there's so many of them.
If we've seen when they hit
the
zeitgeist, you've got headlines and you've got column inches for weeks.
Tinder Swindler was that for definite.
Of course it was.
It was everywhere. Everybody watched that.
So, yeah, I am not surprised that other streaming services are trying to get in that game.
No, not me. Especially with the lack of content, fictional content that's been able to be produced this year.
Exactly.
I feel like next year might be the year of true crime documentaries. I feel like we might get hundreds of them.
Don't click on the next one.
Okay.
Because a little mini quiz for you.
Nice.
I just only got one question.
Okay. That is a mini quiz.
So, Screen Rant has done some numbers.
Okay.
And bearing in mind we've only got 4 weeks left in 2023.
We have.
We've got a really interesting result in terms of big budget movies that have actually made a profit this year.
Okay.
So for the definition of big budget, we're talking if a movie has cost $200 million or more to make. There have been 14 movies released this year that have cost that much.
Okay.
Of those 14, how many cinematic releases do you think have made a profit?
Not many. I'm surprised it's been 14, if I'm honest. I don't think I could name them.
Do you want me to name some of them?
Yeah.
Or do you want to try and answer it first?
I'm going to say
how
less
many?
than half, maybe 5.
You're going with 5?
Yes.
It's less than 5.
It's less than 5.
Yes.
3.
It's less than 3.
Is it none?
It's more than none.
1.
It is 1.
Oh, okay. Is this the question then? Which one?
You can have that question.
I will take that question. Can you name some of them for me?
I will name some of them for you. Fast X.
Okay. No.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Oh, that did all right, I think.
The Little Mermaid.
No, that was a bomb.
Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1.
That did all right.
The Marvels.
No, that bombed.
The Flash.
Bombed.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Bombed. It isn't a superhero movie.
Elemental.
It was shit.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Bombed.
Transformers, Rise of the Beasts.
I didn't even know that was
It's none of them.
It's none of them. Okay. There was never going to be a superhero movie. They're just not doing good money. It's none of them. I don't know the answer to your question, Nick.
The only big budget movie that has made a profit this year is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
It is a superhero movie. That surprises me, actually. That's made a profit, so it's...
But it was only the 4th highest grossing film of the year.
Okay. So none of those movies you just mentioned made their money back?
None of them made a profit.
Not even Indiana Jones?
Correct.
Wow. That's really surprising. It hasn't been a good year for cinema.
So the 3 movies that beat Guardians of the Galaxy all cost under 150 million. So still...
That doesn't surprise me either.
But large budgets.
Large budgets.
But for the purposes of this, not big budget.
What are those 3?
Barbie.
Yeah. Oppenheimer.
And the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is that the first... Which one was the number 1 in the end? Barbie?
Barbie.
Yeah.
Barbie, then Super Mario.
Oh, okay.
Then Oppenheimer.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Saw all 4 of them. They've all had my money.
Okay. I think Oppenheimer's the only one I've not seen.
You should say it. It's good.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. Sorry. I thought that was really interesting, though.
That is really interesting.
Yeah, 1 out of 14. That's not a good hit rate.
No. Well, funnily enough, I went to the cinema last night, changing the subject briefly.
That's fine.
And they always do the trailers beforehand?
Yes.
They were all movies I hadn't heard of. They all look like low-budget movies, and 3 out of the 4 were Sky Movies originals.
Right.
So it feels like content for next year is not I think movies that I wouldn't normally get a cinema release are going to be getting cinema releases next year.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But
do you think that's to fill in a bit of a gap
I think it must be.
from the strikes?
So if Sky are making movies, you wouldn't think they were making them with a cinema release in mind, but now that looks like that's happening for a few of them at least.
Okay.
So I thought that was quite interesting.
That is interesting.
But like we said, we know next year's going to be light on any sort of, especially big blockbusters. I think there's only one Marvel movie slated for next year.
There is. Yeah, Deadpool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, but I thought that was some good stats there.
Next year's going to be an interesting year in the cinema world.
Yeah.
Movie world.
You might want to I don't know. I don't know how many times you'll be going to the cinema.
I've not been that many times this year.
Okay. Another week, another Stephen King announcement of an adaptation of one of his bits of work.
I'm excited about this one.
And I am also excited about this one. I mean, I don't want to say this is a lazy directorial appointment, but it feels like, given that Francis Lawrence, the director of the most recent and possibly earlier Hunger Games films, I've never seen them, has now become attached to an adaptation of Stephen King's The Long Walk.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's not
a stretch.
Not a stretch. I mean, for anyone who's not sort of familiar, the story of The Long Walk is about a 16-year-old who, against the wishes of his mother, competes in the annual grueling match of stamina and wits known as The Long Walk. 100 boys must keep a steady pace of 4 miles per hour without ever stopping, with the winner being awarded the prize.
Yeah. Technically wasn't written by Stephen King, it was a Richard Bachman book.
Yeah.
Which is Stephen King's pseudonym.
But there is no finish line. It's like Last Boy Standing, isn't it?
I read it.
This was very much in his sort of Running Man era, wasn't it?
Yeah, late 70s. I read it earlier this year. I've recently read The Long Walk.
Was that the first time you read it?
No, it was the second time I read it.
Is it good?
It's fantastic. It's a really good story.
Yeah.
How it adapts into a film, I don't know, because it is just boys walking and being pained by that.
No, I think
you can do it. You can definitely do it. You're going to have to utilise flashbacks and asides and things, but the story of Ray Garrity doing that walk is fantastic. And the end of the book is great as well.
There might be a slight wrinkle in the making of this, though.
Okay.
So, I mean, interestingly, I wasn't aware of this. So, previously attached to this in years past, people such as George A. Romero, and Frank Darabont, because he's attached to all Stephen King stuff. But Lawrence is also attached to a sequel to Constantine.
Okay.
I Am Legend 2.
Right.
The upcoming BioShock adaptation.
Right.
And a biopic of the rock band Sublime.
He ain't doing all of them.
No way.
Yeah, there is a slight wrinkle there, maybe.
So, what order all that happens, we'll see. But
you've seen Stephen King films adapted very quickly, very cheaply before.
Yeah,
that'll go to a streamer. Somebody will pick it up, Amazon or Netflix, and it'll be filmed in a couple of weeks. Job done. If that's not out by this time next year, I'll be surprised.
Okay,
and we've only just had an announcement on it. It's not a difficult film to make. You've just got to cast some boys to walk.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a lot of stuff that guy's got on his plate. He might need to shed some of that.
Fine. I mean,
am I wrong to say that the BioShock adaptation relies heavily on this Fallout one that's coming?
Maybe.
The same games developer, at least.
I mean, it feels, but isn't BioShock with Netflix?
Yes, I think it is.
Fallout's with Amazon.
Yes.
But
it just
feels like a competing.
If one fails, then is the other one even going to ever get made? I don't know.
Maybe. Okay, next bit of news.
Yes.
I mean, Alien. What do you think of that franchise? So,
never been a huge fan. Not going to lie.
No, well, you're going to have more opportunity to become a fan. So, because concurrently, we've got a new Alien movie being back into full steam ahead following actors and writers strike, which is going to be called Alien Romulus.
Right.
Which will apparently slot in between Alien and Aliens.
Okay.
In the timeline. That one's going to be directed by Fede Alvarez. But
Fede Alvarez has done something on this show, hasn't he? That name's really familiar.
Possibly. You don't ask me to go just into my memory banks like that.
The name's just come really familiar to
But
me.
also, Noah Hawley, who has spent most of his recent years show running the Fargo TV program.
Okay.
Is working on an Alien TV series. And he has signed up to that, none other than Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, okay.
Who will play a synthetic, i.e. robot.
Nice.
The role of Kirsch, a synth who acts as a mentor and trainer for the lead character Wendy. Yeah.
Cool. I like Timothy Olyphant. He's always good fun.
He is always good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Alien, the TV show, started shooting in Thailand in July, 4 days after the actors' strike began. It filmed for around a month with actors who weren't covered by the SAG-AFTRA agreement, but then had to shut down.
Yeah, because they ran out of stuff that wasn't got one of those.
It is scheduled to gear up again early in 2024.
Okay. So that'll be out by the end of the year as well then.
Yeah. So, yeah, 2024 could be a big year for Alien, the franchise. Again.
It could, indeed.
No one will watch out of that. That's my prediction.
I've never been a big Alien guy.
I just don't know if that audience is there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it is. Fede Alvarez hasn't never done anything on this show, but he did do Don't Breathe and Don't Breathe 2, which I've watched recently, so that's where I've got the memory from.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, a bit of an update on the Marvel saga.
Okay.
In terms of the behind the scenes
we had
turmoil.
Some news on the turmoil a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
And a new writer has been appointed to Avengers the Kang Dynasty.
Right.
If that is what it will still be called. Who knows?
It won't.
And that is none other than Michael Waldron, who was already on board to write Avengers Secret Wars.
Which is the next one after the
Yes.
Okay.
He has just come off Loki season 2.
Oh, wow. He's really got the keys to the kingdom then at the minute.
Sure. And he also wrote Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Okay. Think safe hands then, you would think.
Yes. I mean, I'd love to know what brief he's been given. Like, I would just love to, be a fly on the wall with that. Right, we need to write a movie with Kang in it, and then write something that's completely in a different direction as well, depending on where we decide to go.
Yeah, just in case.
But yeah, I'm sure those chairs will continue to shuffle over the next few weeks and months.
Yeah, I can see the Kang chair definitely shuffling. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe it will, maybe it won't.
And
they don't always have the best morals, do they?
Well, interestingly as well, the next piece of news is also concerning the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Wyatt Russell has been talking about Thunderbolts, which, as far as I'm aware, is essentially Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I think so.
So he made his debut in the Disney Plus series Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Last year, maybe the year before.
Maybe the year before.
So he plays a US agent. He's basically he's cheap Captain America.
Yep. That's a terrible name.
And yeah, he's in Thunderbolts with Florence Pugh.
Okay.
Who'll play playing her role from Black Widow. Yeah. Sebastian Stan coming back as Bucky Barnes. And they're like a squad led by Elaine Bates from Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And that one is due to hit July 2025. But interestingly, is that Wyatt Russell was talking on a panel, an MTV panel in the last couple of weeks. And the headline from his comments was, "It's time to make a good Marvel movie." Now that's not exactly on brand, is it?
Not really, no.
But fine. Why not? Be honest. Russell said it's not a straightforward Marvel movie like you've seen in the past, but it should be a lot of fun and something that hopefully Marvel fans will look at and go, "Oh, okay, this is different. Let's go hard." As far as how we're approaching it, it's time for us to go to work, and it is time to make a good Marvel movie.
I mean, yeah, it is time to make a good Marvel movie, but maybe don't just chuck everybody else under the bus while you're promoting yours. You've got a lot of shoes to fill there.
The group includes Bucky Barnes, played by Sebastian Stan, Ghost, played by Hannah John Kamen, US Agent, played by Russell, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Yelena Belova, played by Flopo, the Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, and the Taskmaster, played by Olga
Greg Davis.
Kurilenko. That would be much better.
Imagine if Greg Davis just showed up.
That's a crossover I'm here for.
Yeah, good. I hope they do make a good Marvel movie at some point.
Yeah, let us know.
But just briefly, before I click off this page, There's a headline on the side that says, Tim Burton confirms Beetlejuice 2 has wrapped filming.
Okay.
Which might put into something we said last week about Jenna Ortega, who said that she'd quit the Scream franchise because she had prior commitments on filming Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah, no time between Beetlejuice and Wednesday. That was the official
Beetlejuice 2's finished and Scream 7 hasn't started. So maybe she's not telling the truth on
Who
that
knows?
one. Who knows?
Maybe she just didn't fancy it.
Maybe she was... Yeah, maybe she just didn't fancy it. Maybe she has the same views as some of her former co-stars.
You can't say that.
I just
Final piece of news for the week is that Michael Keaton has stepped behind and in front of the camera. He's doing double duty in a movie called Knox Goes Away.
Okay.
Which premiered at the Toronto Film Festival last month and has now been picked up by Saban Films to distribute.
Okay. What is it?
I thought you would be quite interested in this one. Now, Knox Goes Away is a thriller, and the cast list is quite impressive.
Okay.
Obviously, Michael Keaton, Al Pacino,
Okay.
James Marsden,
Wow.
and Marcia Gay Harden.
That is a cast. That is quite the cast.
Michael Keaton stars as John Knox, a contract killer with rapid onset dementia, who is offered the chance to redeem himself by saving the life of the adult son, played by James Marsden, with whom he has been estranged.
Wow. Okay, that does sound interesting.
As the usually cold and calculating killer steadily loses his memory, Knox finds himself in a race against time as a lost and confused father tries to help his son cover up a messy and violent crime.
Okay. Where does Al Pacino fit in this?
Who knows?
Probably
Just Al Pacino.
Old best
Anywhere
friend.
he wants.
Yeah. Cool. That sounds really interesting. I love Michael Keaton. He's great.
Yeah, another career resurgence.
Yeah, definitely.
Last few years.
Yeah. Excellent. We'll keep our eye on that one as well.
Bro, that's all the news.
That's all the news.
Yeah.
Excellent. Have you watched anything good at the top of the stream?
I've watched a couple of things.
Go for it.
I know I mentioned last week I watched the first couple of episodes of Squid Game: The Challenge.
Yes.
I watched all the first release of those, so the first 5 episodes.
Same.
And I think I've watched 2 more of this week's. So
I've only watched 1 of this week, so I'm up to 6.
So yes, I think I've watched 7.
Still 7.
And do you know what? I still don't know if I like it, but dang, I want to watch it.
I don't understand how it's good.
Same.
But it is. It is good, and I don't really get why.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think it is.
It's addictive. I don't know. Is it good? I don't know if it's good.
I think it's good.
But I was really excited to watch it.
It has no right to be good, but I think it's good. I think some of those episodes are good. I don't want to go any more than good. I don't even want to say very good. I just want to say I think it's a good show.
But I think it's accidentally good if it is good.
I think you're right there.
Because for me, the least interesting part have been the actual games.
Yes.
And the most interesting parts, and the bits I've enjoyed the most, are when the contestants are sitting around talking in the dorms.
Yeah.
Or you have them being interviewed. Or this kind of like mini games that they have in the dorms.
In the dorms are really
which
good.
are essentially just picking teams of...
Yeah.
You know,
who do you not like? Who do you want to kick out?
Basically. Yeah.
Some of those are brutal.
I can't remember that happening in Squid Game.
No, I don't think it did. I think they've just tried to make it a bit more
But
compelling.
they're by far the tensest
Yeah.
eliminations in the show.
Yeah, definitely.
None of the big budget, throw them in a courtyard.
I'd agree with that up until Marbles. I thought Marbles was really good.
There was a couple of...
The way they did Marbles and the way they set it up, I thought really worked because it was a shock.
The setup was brilliant, yeah. How they paired them off was
brilliant. And it really destroyed the personalities of some people.
Yeah. It flips. People just lost it.
People completely lost their minds.
A couple of people just... The masks just dropped.
Yeah. And I thought that was real. The games obviously themselves.
Yeah.
Marbles is Marbles. But
Marbles, the game...
I think that...
It was the best episode of Squid Game because, you know, obviously...
The actual
TV show because you had a variety of the concepts of the Marbles games. You get the marbles, you
do whatever you want.
You choose what game you want to play. One of you has to eliminate. But the problem with in this Squid Game, the challenge was most people just went with, oh, we'll chuck it in a bucket.
Yes.
Or the targets.
Yeah.
Whereas in the TV show, you had lots of different variations.
But it was every single one of Marbles was two people who liked each other going against each other.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
And I thought that was really well done. I thought how they did that was really good. I think the best one they've done so far in the dorms is the Jack in the Box one they did.
Oh, that was good.
Because I thought that she was brutal, the woman at the end of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've actually, and I don't want to say it, but I've really enjoyed it. I am enjoying.
When I remembered yesterday that a new batch had come out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch the first one.
Yeah.
I was actually excited to watch.
I would have watched more, but I had to go to the cinema last night. But yeah, I don't think it has any right to be, but I think it's quite good.
So
it's completely missed the point of Squid Game.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's just if you detach it from the actual TV show, it's just a quite good reality TV show.
I think I've watched one more episode than you. So what I will say is, having said that about the games, which I absolutely stand by, I think so. You'll have the bridge game coming up.
Okay.
And I think that is the best game that they have done of the actual games in this show. But again, that's more on how they set it up than the execution of the game.
The actual execution of the game.
Yeah. But I
would implore everybody just to try, if you've seen Squid Game, just try it out. Just see what you think. And if you've not seen Squid Game, you might get something out of it.
I'll be interested.
You might get more out of it if you've not seen.
I'll be interested to see. Maybe it might be by the time we're recording this next week, if we start to get our first info on numbers and and stuff like that.
There might be something already. A brief look.
Yeah, we'll know sort of top 10 wise, but not. I'd like to see some actual numbers. On it, so.
Do you get numbers on the globals? Yeah, you do. Yeah, maybe we'll analyse that next week if any do come out. Well, the finale's next Tuesday, isn't it?
I think so.
Okay.
So yeah, that, and then I've done it.
Done what?
I've watched Netflix's big Christmas movie.
Have you really?
Best Christmas Ever, starring Jason Biggs and Heather Graham.
Okay, tell me more.
Don't waste your time.
Really? I knew it'd be bad.
Yeah.
Is it bad?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Like, is it Christmas movie bad or is it just bad?
I would say, because I quite like sitting and watching a bad Christmas movie.
Yeah.
For me, no.
Okay.
I always think Jason Biggs is watchable. He's the best thing in this.
Yeah, he always is.
It's when they end up flying above the town in a eco-powered hot air balloon.
No. I'm out.
I'm just like delivering Christmas wishes. It's too
much. Can I ask you one question?
Do you know what my favourite kind of rubbish Christmas film is? Just before you ask the question, is like I would rather watch like the Hallmark ones.
Yes. I know exactly. Like some of the ones we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Than this sort of trying to recreate that Hallmark cheesiness.
With a budget.
Yeah, with a couple of recognisable people in a Netflix
that's exactly
budget.
what Netflix are doing.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make these cheesy holiday movies.
Yeah, it doesn't... you can't... Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Your question.
Did your wife like it?
She liked it. She didn't love it.
Okay. That says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not going in the every Christmas rotation?
No, I don't think
You're not going to watch it ever again?
no, I'm not, no.
No. Cool. Anything else?
I think that's it for me.
I've done a few things this week.
Okay.
I watched a movie on Saturday night called Tim.
Okay.
Tim. It's an AI movie.
Right.
It's very much in the similar vein to Tau that we did on this show.
Sure.
It's even a letter with three acronyms that start with a T. But this is a human robot manservant. I can't remember what it stands for. The M is manservant. So it's like technical something manservant. I don't know. I can't remember what it is. It's bugging me. But basically, this woman gets a job at a tech company, and everybody who works there gets this to beta test this robot.
Sure.
Before it goes out into live production. It's this couple. They've just moved to the area. They haven't got any other friends, and he becomes their manservant. And then he falls in love with her and kills her husband. You don't need to watch it. It's okay.
Right.
It's a bottom of the stream movie. We should have done it on the show. I couldn't find anything else to watch. I was like, I'll do that. It wasn't on our long list, but it could easily have been.
Okay.
It's one of those movies we would have done on the show. It's fine. It is what it is.
That is not a glowing reference.
It is not a glowing reference. I also watched a documentary on Plex TV.
Of course you did.
Which is an Amazon-free streaming TV service called Robin's Wish.
Okay.
And it is a documentary exploring the death of Robin Williams.
Oh.
And the true story about what actually happened to him. Because a lot of people think he killed himself because he was depressed or an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And none of that is true. He actually had a rare form of dementia.
Really? I didn't know that.
This rare form of dementia heightens the anxiety levels in your brain.
Okay.
To the point where 90% of people who have this form of dementia kill themselves.
Wow.
It's crazy. And he didn't know. He never got a diagnosis and they didn't find out till after he died. So he knew that something was wrong with him.
Yeah.
And he knew that he was getting more and more depressed and anxious, but it wasn't until afterwards when they figured out he'd got this form of dementia that he never got his diagnosis. And it's the main story is told by his wife, so it follows her quite a lot. And it takes you to his house where he lived. It's devastatingly sad, but it's a really good documentary because a lot of people have the wrong impression of how Robin Williams died, and I think that needs to change. Yeah. So more people need to watch this documentary because it's really interesting.
I might go and find that.
He thought he had Parkinson's. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's just before he died.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Parkinson's. It was all part of this dementia that gave him a hand tremor. He had a left hand tremor. It caused hallucinations. It made him think that everybody hated him. He was convinced he'd lost his talent, and which he had. And yeah, it was so sad, knowing that he never knew what it was that killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they interview his neighbours, and because he never lived on one of these gated actors communities, he always lived in like a proper community. And so it interviews those people who knew him, and his wife's in it all the time. And it was really sad, but it was really interesting. So I would highly recommend it if you can find it.
That sounds great.
It's called Robin's Wish. I've done quite a lot this week. I've also started a TV show that's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, this is quite all over the algorithms at the minute.
It is. It's called The Murder at the End of the World. It's made by the same people who made the OA for Netflix.
Okay.
Remember that? It was cancelled and everybody went mental. It was one of the first shows big shows that Netflix cancelled. So it's made by the same people as that. It's good. It's got the lady who played Princess Diana in the last series of The Crown.
Emma Corrin.
She's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about this, and Clive Owen's in it.
Okay.
And he plays like this reclusive billionaire who's
Coventry's Clive Owen.
Yeah. Who nobody's seen for years. And he invites these 6 or 7 people who are like top of their field in their respective fields to this retreat in Iceland to try and save the world.
Fine.
So there's an astronaut, there's a top crime writer, there's a doctor, there's all these different people they're not necessarily like politicians or scientists, but he wants to get these good minds together in all these different fields to try and save the world.
Sure.
But on there's like a guy who's like a Banksy character. He's like famous for graffiti art.
Yeah.
On the first night of this retreat, one of them gets murdered, and there's only these people here. It's the first night this hotel's ever opened. There's nobody else there, and so it's the story of who killed this guy and why. And we're now, can we still save the world knowing that people are going around murdering us? Is the basis of the story. But it's trippy, it's weird, it's freaky because it's made by the people who made the OA. It's coming out weekly.
Okay.
On Disney Plus. I think the 4th one came out yesterday. I've watched 3 so far, but I'm really into it. It's really good.
Yeah, I fancy checking it out. It's
you should.
I've seen some trailers and clips.
I think there's 7 altogether, so there's another 3 weeks before it's finished. But it might be a watch it over Christmas type of thing.
Okay.
Because it's set in Iceland, so it's snowing all the time.
Nice.
And then last night I went to the cinema, as I mentioned earlier today.
Sure.
I watched the movie Thanksgiving.
Oh, and what was that like?
Which is Eli Roth's new movie.
Yeah.
What was that like is a really odd question to answer when it comes to this movie. It has the most batshit crazy opening segment I've ever seen in a movie.
Okay.
It then hits the title card and becomes a completely different movie. And after about 20 minutes, I kind of figured out what I was watching.
Right.
And after that point, I was all in. It's stupid. It's so silly. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to laugh your ass off all the way through it because I did. And it wasn't what I was expecting because you don't expect that from Eli Roth, do you?
Sure.
He's the guy who made Hostel.
Yeah.
He's like, and it is uber violent, but it's comedy violent. Like, I won't tell you everything that happens, but the first death is a woman who gets chopped in half by a skip.
Uh-huh.
She falls into a skip and the lid falls down and literally chops her in half, and blood's gushing and entrails everywhere. It's comedy horror, but it's not done like a comedy horror. It's intentionally bad.
Do you reckon?
I think so.
This guy's gone like full gonzo.
It feels like a parody
of
an Eli Roth movie, but made by Eli Roth. It's so weird. It's the silliest movie I think I've ever seen. I was literally pissing myself at some parts of it. It's very, very funny, but there's no jokes in it. I'm just laughing at the movie.
How interesting.
Yeah. It feels like if Eli Roth made Scary Movie,
yeah.
This is the movie he's making. It feels like that. No, it's the story of the town where Thanksgiving became a holiday.
Yes.
Plymouth is called. There's a store that's doing a Black Friday sale. But the owner of the store is like individual. It's like a Walmart, but owned by one guy.
Yeah.
And he figures people queue up to get into his store at midnight on Black Friday because they can't open on Thanksgiving. So what he's going to do is open at 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving. Okay. If they're going to be there, they might as well be in his shop. Uh-huh. And there's just this mass riot where people are getting murdered, people are getting killed just in the crush of getting into this shop. And this it becomes this like viral thing that this shop had this Black Friday riot that killed all these people. And then it's set a year later and it's a masked killer, as in all movies,
sure,
trying to get revenge on the people responsible for this riot from the year before. And so, but it's all like modern day. There's Instagram. He goes on Instagram Live to tell them what he's doing and all that. It's silly. It's really silly. I'll tell you one thing after we finish recording, so I don't want to give it up. But I had so much fun with it, and there was only 6 people in the cinema with us, and nobody else seemed to be laughing as much as I was.
I mean, it feels like a thing that's quite a hard sell anyway, outside of the States.
Yeah, because you get Christmas movies, you get Halloween movies, yeah. Thanksgiving movies are unusual.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't care. I loved it.
I thought
good. But we all know my opinion on stupid movies. I love stupid movies. And I don't know. I'd be interested to see somebody else's opinion on it who's seen it. But I had a lot of fun with it. As soon as I figured out what it was, because the first 10 minutes I'm like, this is really bad. The acting's terrible. The story's awful. And then I'm like, hold on. I think I'm understanding what's going on here now. That woman's just been cut in half by a skip. That's funny. I'm going to go with it. And as soon as I'm on board with it, I was all in. I thought it was really funny. I'd be interested to see anybody else's opinion on it.
Cool.
Good times.
Good.
That's it, I think. I don't think I've watched anything else.
That's a good
going.
Haul.
It's a good haul for the week. We haven't got a real talk. So are we about done? Have we got anything else to do?
I've got a game.
Wow.
I've done this little game. It's season finale. Let's do a game.
Let's do a game. We haven't done a game for ages.
No, we haven't. We've not done one for quite a while. And because we are talking about Crawl Space
We are.
on Thursday, I guess you could kind of say it's one of these, like, ordinary guy versus...
Yeah. Bad guys.
Yeah, bad guys. I have had a look then across the internet for what I think we'll term one-man armies.
Okay.
And what I found was a list done a little while ago by Empire magazine.
Yeah.
Ranking what they see as the best sort of one-man hero / heroine
Okay.
in movies. You know, a single protagonist up against waves of...
We've done a
bad
couple on the
guys.
show, haven't we?
We have.
What was that one? John Henry? Was that called?
John Henry was one.
Yeah.
Yes. Last Man Down,
Yeah.
the Scandinavian
Yeah,
one
yeah.
from a couple of seasons ago.
Sweet
So-
Girl to an extent.
Yeah, yeah. So, Empire magazine, like I say, did a list of these a couple of years ago, and they did their top 40
Wow.
actually.
Wow, there's a
So
lot
it
of
really shows you sort of how widespread this trope is, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's our old favourite, higher or lower.
Okay.
I haven't really got a name for it. I kind of wanted to call it "How Many Men Can You Take," but it didn't sound very catchy.
I'm not answering that on a podcast.
But that's what I would have called it
Let's
if
call
it
it
had
that.
a name. So what I will give you a
So am I getting the higher and lower on where it is in the chart?
where it
Will
is-
I know these movies then?
I think you'll know all of these.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna start slap bang in the middle.
Okay.
Number 20.
Yep.
According to Empire's rating of one-man army type characters.
Cool.
Number 20 is Eric Draven from The Crow.
Okay.
So I will give you the next name, and you tell me, did it rank higher or lower in their list, their top 40 list?
Got you.
The next is Ash from the Evil Dead series.
Yeah. That's got to be higher. Higher.
I would go with higher. However, according to Empire magazine, Ash was number 37.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Scraping into the top 40.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I thought really surprising. Next
Makes this next one a little bit easier, I hope.
is The Bride from Kill Bill.
Oh, great films. I love the Kill Bill films. But higher. It's not going to be lower than 37.
100% higher. Number 18.
Wow.
After The Bride is Casey Ryback, who was Steven Seagal's character in Under Siege
Okay.
1 and 2.
Casey Ryback.
Yeah.
What a great name. Where was that one? Last one, 18?
Yeah, The Bride was 18.
Lower.
Yes, just 21. I didn't
Okay.
know if that would throw you, because Under Siege is pretty...
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's on,
no Kill
it's
Bill,
on a
is it?
scale of Steven Seagal,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're quite fondly thought of. So, all right, higher or lower than 21, Casey Ryback is El Mariachi, played by Antonio Banderas across the Mexico films.
That's a tough
The
one.
man with the guitar.
I want to put that somewhere around Kill Bill, but that's where I am anyway.
Higher or lower than 21?
Higher.
It's lower.
Ah, damn it.
28
Oh, okay.
for El Mariachi. Okay, so higher than lower. Brian Mills
Say Brian May then.
from Taken. And I
that's-
don't even know how many Takens there are. There are many.
4? I think.
Let's say that. Higher or lower than 28th in the list?
Higher.
He is higher. He's 13th.
Wow. Highest so far.
Yeah. Next is Nicholas Angel from Hot Fuzz. This is Simon Pegg's character.
That is not a one-man army movie. Is it? Is it? No. Lower.
Is it?
No.
But I suppose he starts off meek and mild-mannered, doesn't he? And he ends up riding into battle on a horse with a shotgun and
Yeah, but
guns and...
that isn't in the same vein as all these other ones. Hot Fuzz is not in the same vein as Kill Bill. Lower.
Higher.
What?
Number 7.
No, that's bullshit. That is Empire sucking Simon Pegg's dick. Sorry.
Wow. Okay, well, apparently we're into the big hitters with Nicholas Angel. So, higher or lower than Nicholas Angel? You may have heard of this one. John McClane from All the Diehards.
All the Diehards. That's got to be higher. That's up there with me.
Higher or lower than 7?
Higher.
He is lower.
Oh. I would have thought that would be right up there.
32nd.
Well, it was miles out.
In the list.
Okay.
I thought that might just wind you up. Okay, so higher or lower than John McClane? Neo from the Matrix movies.
That'll be up there. Right, it's definitely higher. Top 10.
Correct, it is higher, and you are correct, it is top 10. Neo is 6th according to Empire's list.
Okay.
One-man armies. Which brings us to Jason Bourne.
Ooh.
Higher or lower than number 6? Are you going to play the odds, or are you going to take a risk?
I'm going to take a risk. I'm going higher.
Should have played the odds.
Nah.
He's number 17.
Okay. I'm not very good at this one.
I mean, to be fair, it's quite an uneven list.
It is. It's all over the shop.
In terms of where some of these have been ranked. Okay, higher or lower than Jason Bourne is John Rambo.
Empire.
To some, the definition of a one-man army.
And Empire love those sort of movies as well. Higher.
Correct.
Top 5.
No, he's number 9.
Oh, okay.
Number 9 for John Rambo. One more.
Okay.
Higher or lower than 9th is Ellen Ripley to bring us right back round to Aliens.
Is that a one-man army? Yeah. I guess. Where was that one? 9th?
John Rambo was 9th.
Lower.
It's higher. She was 5th.
5th. Okay.
Would you like to know what the top 10 is?
Can I guess number 1?
You can guess, and I do not think you would get it.
Okay, I won't guess then. I was gonna say John Wick.
I think John Wick is in there lower down, but he's certainly not in the top 10.
Okay. Just knowing Empire, I figured that's where they go.
Yeah.
Go on then, give me the top 10.
Top 10? At number 10 is John Matrix.
John Major.
From who is Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando.
Okay.
This is the John section, because number 9 is John Rambo.
Yeah.
Number 8 is Judge Dredd.
Right, yeah.
Number 7, the aforementioned Nicholas Angel. Number 6, Neo. Number 5 is Ellen Ripley. Number 4 is Marv, played by Mickey Rourke in Sin City and Sin City 2.
Great films.
Number 3 is Anton Chigurh, who is played by Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men.
Okay. I didn't like that movie.
Number 2, which I think is way out of left field.
Okay.
Way out of left field. It is 2 different characters, but in an original movie and then a remake of that movie.
Right.
So it's essentially the same role, but the character has 2 different names from the original to the remake.
Okay.
If I were to give you Buford Pusser or Chris Vaughan, I don't think I would know what movies they are from.
No, the Vaughan Identity? I don't.
So, no, that's the characters from, respectively, Walking Tall in 1973 and Walking Tall in 2004.
Okay.
Played by Joe Don Baker in the original and Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the remake.
Okay. I've never seen them.
No.
That is out of left field.
Number 1, according to Empire's list, another Arnold Schwarzenegger character. Conan.
I think Terminator. Conan? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I'd have that at number 1 either.
No, it's a bit odd, I would say.
But then I wouldn't have Hot Fudge in that list at all. So.
Yeah.
Who knows? Okay. Good game.
Okay.
I was rubbish at it, but it was a good game.
I think that's tough, though.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of randomness in there.
Silly list.
Yeah.
I love a silly list, though, don't we?
Yeah.
Right. We've way overrun on the wave, which is not a bad thing because it's the last one of the season. But they're not going away. The waves are not going away.
No, the wave will be back next week.
We might have a little break over Christmas,
Yeah.
but the wave will be back next week. The movie show won't, but something will.
Something will be there.
So come back here on Thursday for the season finale of Bottom of the Stream.
Yeah, and I think maybe next week we'll run through what's happening over Christmas.
Yeah. We'll do that in next week's wave because we've got a plan.
Yeah, but for all that, be back here Thursday. It's the final movie of season 9 of Bottom of the Stream. We are talking about Crawl Space.
We are indeed. So we will see you back here on Thursday.
Cheers.
Bye.